sign we're using today for this project happens to be a Halloween sign. I just liked the shape of it, so you can feel free to pick any kind of shape that you like. We're going to be making the Christmas countdown sign. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut off my string. I don't know if I want the holes or not, but I think I'm going to leave them for this project. I'm going to paint this with red chalk paint. This is the chalk paint in Crimson. It'll probably take 2 coats, but we're going to go ahead and give it a nice thick coat of red. I used just a regular paintbrush that I picked up from, I don't know, it says Craft Smart. I don't know where it came from. Probably, actually, you know what? My mom gave me this one. But you can choose any paintbrush that you'd like. I just like the thick ones. And we're just going to give this a nice thick coat of chalk paint. When you apply your Mod Podge, you just want to do a thin coat. But you want to really focus on those edges, especially those curvy little edges. Now the Mod Podge I'm using is glossy. One reason why I use it is because I have it and I'm trying to get rid of it because I really want to use matte, but I don't feel like I should open another bottle until this is gone. So that's why I'm using glossy. It really doesn't matter. There's also this Mod Podge spray that works pretty well. I really do like this better. Now you'll see when I turn this over, I already painted mine red. That's because I forgot to Mod Podge first. So Mod Podge first. But, so you're just going to push down. You really want to seal those edges, especially around the corners. Now, if you do this before you paint, you won't make a mess because you've got a nice little paint surface, okay? So I am going to give mine another coat of red and make sure I get around the edges. Alright, so here's my finished one. I have my little hooks for my little tags, and so we're going to paint these a more neutral color, and I'm thinking I'm going to do black for the hooks, and I'm going to go ahead and distress this. I know I said I wasn't going to, but I have decided that it needs it. So let's paint these black. Let's distress in black, just so it kind of matches, and my tags are black, so that way everything kind of goes together. So I've been very busy today. All of my sponge brushes, I think, are wet. So let's go with this guy. And we're just going to paint this. Here's a little piece of paper here. A piece of trash. Just so I don't get too incredibly messy. And these paint pretty well. I painted these for another project too. Now when you go to attach them, you'll actually take the sticky off and glue the, oh my gosh, glue under the tag. I am struggling. I'm on a struggle bus today. I think what it is, do you hear my cricket? It's running behind me. I think it's distracted me. We have to give those another coat. I just can't hold on to it and paint it at the same time. Okay, we'll let those dry for a second. And then we'll give those another coat. Let's go ahead and distress in black. Now, this is dry paint, so we want to make sure our brush is really dry and doesn't have a lot of paint on it. So I'm just going to grab a paper plate and really get this extra paint off my brush. And I won't even need any more paint. So I'm going to go ahead and close this because I'm accident prone and I tend to spill things. So I want a lot of paint off my brush. And what's kind of cool is when you're distressing like this, you're actually picking up the I guess the grain of your brush strokes from the previous when we did the red. If that is even, am I making sense? I'm telling you, I am on the struggle bus. So I'm just dragging this paintbrush across here, and I'm focusing on the edges. You can see I didn't really add any extra paint, but my first stroke is always on the edge so that I don't get extra paint in the middle. We don't want that in the middle. Okay. That looks pretty good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our letters. I used my Cricut this time. So I also printed out what I'm going to use. So let me show you my printout. So these are the letters I'm going to use. So if you wanted to, you could color on the back and then trace it on the front, which is what I've been doing. But I really wanted to use my Cricut. I've not used it in such a long time, and I think it was feeling neglected. So I'm going to pull that out today and put some vinyl letters on this bad boy. I wanted to show you guys this real quick. So this is a light pad. It's actually used for tracing and things like that. But if you have a Cricut, it's a great tool for weeding. So it just really saves your eyes, if you will. So my Cricut kind of cut everything on here. So I'm going to start cutting stuff apart. But I wanted to let you know that this is the point where you decide, do you want to make a stencil and paint, or do you want to put the vinyl on? I think I've decided to do a stencil. So I'm going to get everything cut apart and weeded, and then I'll show you how to make a stencil. So now I'm going to use just a roll of clear shelf liner, or contact paper, if you will. This roll happened to not come from the Dollar Tree, but I have used the Dollar Tree contact paper in the past, and it works just fine. So what we're going to do is take our stencils, and we're going to peel back the paper. We're going to take our stencil face down. And now we're going to peel off this paper. And now we have a beautiful stencil. So we're going to do that to all of our little pieces so that we can paint on our sign. Now I will tell you that in the meantime I have sealed my sign with Mod Podge clear acrylic sealer, just so that I don't get any staining coming through on my paint. So now we're going to go ahead and finish up our stencils, and then we'll be ready to paint. Alright, so I'm going to place my letters on my board using my straight edge I got at the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to use my tags here to kind of show me where I need to go. So I want enough for, and I can trim these down too, which I might do. I'll cut them off. Okay. So what I'm going to do is line this up on my ruler. Kind of figure out where I want everything. Let's see, there's plenty of room. for this. Okay. So I'm lining this up on the edge so I know that my words are straight. And we'll take off our clear contact paper. See, sometimes it's a struggle. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. Okay, I'm going to get the rest of my stencils down, and then we'll paint. Alright, so now we're going to stencil. I'm using the Nimbus paint from Waverly. And the key to stenciling is to keep your brush vertical. And to just dab and not put a gob of paint on at one time. By dabbing straight up and down, you're eliminating a lot of bleed. Now, I don't mind a little bit of bleed because I feel like it kind of shows that hand-painted look. And because I'm going for kind of a farmhousey Christmas decor, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't have to be so crisp. But you could layer down a layer of Mod Podge first. That will help with some crispness of the lines. Like I said, I don't mind though, so yeah. Okay. So it's got a nice good first coat. And I'm going to let this dry, mostly dry, and then I'm going to go back and hit it with a second coat. Okay, so I put my second coat on. It is not dry, but I'm going to go ahead and take off the stencil. And any part where there's a little part right there where I get overzealous with the specific painting, I can go back with my red crimson and just touch it up. Okay, so now I'm going through and picking out the centers. Alright, I'm going to finish this, and then we'll do the next step. Okay, so my husband just noticed that I actually put this on here backwards, so it should have said Christmas Countdown, so we hand wrote in 2. So, like he said, you win some, you lose some. Anyway, so it should say Christmas Countdown, but now it says Christmas Countdown to Christmas. So anyway, now we're going to put on our hook. So I have my tags down here kind of measured out where I want them to hang out. And then I'm going to use my straight edge to make sure they stay straight on the board. So I'm going to put those back on there so I make sure I put them in the right spot. So you want to peel the sticker off, and then you want to hit it with some hot glue. Like I said, I'm using my straight edge so that they are in line. Okay. Now we have a spot for our tags to hang. I am going to shorten these strings, but they'll hang here and we can change our dates back and forth. So now we need to write on here with our paint marker the numbers. I wouldn't stencil on these because this is paper, and so the liner will tear off the paper. So you'll want to do that by hand or get some stickers. Alright, for my tags, I shortened the string down a little bit and actually cut off about that much from the bottom just so it would hang right on my sign. So now I'm just using some stencils. I got these stencils at Dollar General. I just liked that they were italicized. So I'm going to be putting some numbers on here. And so I just kind of wanted to show you what it was going to look like. And then again, the key to a stencil is to make sure you're going straight up and down. So I'm going to be putting a 1 and a 2 on the back of each other. 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 0. I'm going to do 1 and 2 twice to get those double-digit numbers. So there you go. 1 and 2. Let those dry, and then we'll be ready to move on with our project. Okay, the only thing we have left to do is trim the paper away from our countdown calendar. I'm just going to use my Fisker's knife. You can use a razor blade, X-Acto knife, whatever you've got. But you're just going to push firmly down and trim away the paper. Okay. When you get to those corners, just be careful. But that's it. Okay, now we're going to put on a hanger. So I have some of this nautical rope, but I don't want it to be quite so thick. So I'm going to just kind of uncurl it and take one piece here, because I think that would be the perfect thickness. It's a little bit thicker than jute, but not quite as thick as the nautical rope. Okay. Then we're going to put it through these holes and tie it. When you're threading the rope, the easiest thing I have found to do is take a little piece of tape, a little bigger piece of tape, and wrap it around the end to where you have a point. Then you can put it through the hole, grab the tape, and feed the rope through. So what I'm going to do is just make a knot at the end of this. I will take the tape off, but for now. And then you have your hanger. So I'm going to hit the bottom of this with hot glue so it doesn't fray. Alright, to give this a little more something, I thought about adding ribbons or bows or something like that, but in the end I've decided to go with stitching. So I'm just going to make little dashes all the way around the piece in my white painter's pen that I got from Walmart. I'm just going to go all the way around and add, so it kind of looks more like almost like a Christmas tag, really. And if you wanted, you could add some greenery or some ribbon or something like that. But I think this is really cute and simple. There you have it. My glue gun is still not heated up. I got a new one and it's taking forever. So, but this is the finished piece and we will hang it up. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Alright guys, so this is our final product. I think it turned out really stinking cute, even with my little backwards mess up. But I'm really proud of it. I hope you've liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. It really helps my channel grow. Until next time, keep crafting.